What's good, y'all? What's good? I'm coming to y'all with another Prophet Nurse video. This video is titled The Sick and Bitter. I want to talk about how bitterness can hinder you from getting the healing that you need from God. Your spiritual disposition affects your health. What I mean by that is whichever way you are angled towards God in the spirit or angled against God in the spirit, it affects how much favor you find with God. One person I reference is Naomi from the book of Ruth. Naomi was Ruth's mother in law, and Naomi called herself Mara when she got back to Bethlehem in Ruth 2. And Naomi took a spiritual disposition of bitterness regarding the death of her husband and her two sons and the abandonment of her daughter in law, Orpah. And she told the people that knew her in Bethlehem, to call her Mara. Well, Naomi really didn't have to be as bitter as she was, but she couldn't find light in the midst of darkness. She couldn't find hope in the midst of affliction. And so it's important when you're sick to have hope in the midst of affliction, to believe that God will do something about it, even if you struggle with your faith, truly believing that what you have yet to see, you will see. Hope allows you hope for what you have not yet seen or you have not yet experienced. So you hope for the day that you can run again. You hope for the day that you can sing the way you want to sing again. You hope for the day that you can laugh, play, and have joy the way you've had it before. But then you also have faith for it. And when you start having faith for something, you start doing the work that's required to make it your reality. Bitter people are often blind and unforgiving. People become bitter for a number of reasons. One thing I've learned recently is that a liar will position themselves for bitterness. People who refuse to tell the truth about things, and they continue to meditate on things that they've said that aren't true, they'll position themselves for bitterness. For instance, if you backstab your friend and you said that they backstabbed you, and you keep telling this lie and telling this lie and telling this lie, your refusal to live in the light about the situation or to tell the truth about the situation will make you bitter when you think about how innocent your friend is and how guilty you try to make them look, but also how many lies you told and how much you have to keep up with the lie instead of just mending the relationship according to the truth of the situation. Okay? Bitterness can lead you to harden your heart toward the Lord. It's hard to get things from God when you are stiff necked, stubborn, or you have a hardened heart. A heart of flesh is so much better than a heart of stone when we look at having a relationship with God and allowing Him to work in you, work through you, and work on you, okay? To overcome bitterness, you must be honest about what has happened to you and do your best to overcome it. You may have to forgive someone when you're honest about what's happened to you and how you need to overcome that situation. You may need to repent. You may be at fault sin wise in a judgment of sin or shortcomings. You may need to repent. You may need to just be like, Lord, please forgive me for the way I treated my husband, because I kept denying the prophetic calls and prophetic assignments on my life regarding to regarding my husband and my marriage. Um, I destroyed my own marriage because I was the stronger prophet in the marriage. Please forgive me, Lord, for mishandling your prophet, which was my husband. Please forgive me for breaking his heart. Please forgive me for weakening him in the spirit. Please forgive me for taking advantage of him because he had money, whatever the case is. That could be something that you must do to repent and to clean your heart of bitterness. And the Lord will be like, you finally have acknowledged the truth. You finally have acknowledged how destructive you were in an intimate situation with me, with another prophet. And you finally acknowledge how much harm you've done to a prophet, how much you touched another prophet, how much you just destroyed another prophet that they may not have cognitively come to understanding of today. But the truth of the matter is, any prophet that disobeys God typically becomes bitter in one way or another. And sometimes they mishandle their bitterness and they take it out on other people. Sick people who aren't bitter heal faster. Never forget that. Sick people who are not bitter heal faster. Bitterness will stop you in your tracks. Once again, bitterness will stop you in your tracks. A bitter person is distasteful. Okay? You be like, what's wrong with them? They're so hostile. They're so angry. They're so unpleasant in speech, in attitude, in character, it's usually because they're bitter. Okay. Bitterness will stop you in your tracks. You might say, well, they used to have the joy of the Lord in their soul. The joy of the Lord was their strength, but they don't have joy like that anymore. And they become bitter because they're tired of maybe being somebody's caretaker, or they're tired of making the same amount of money every year. But they also don't do the work that's required for them to make more money. They also don't help that person who's sick overcome their sickness and affliction, nor do they seek to reposition that sick person into a better care facility where they don't have to be a caretaker. Taking care of sick people is something I've done before and done for an extenuous period of time. Like taking care of sick people who refuse to take accountability for their sickness. It's another video. Taking accountability for your afflictions, your sicknesses, and your diseases. Taking care of people who refuse to believe or have hope that things can get better. It can make you bitter, okay, because you become overly compassionate towards the sick and you try to bring them to a place of health and you burden them down with words of encouragement while not being honest about the fact that when someone is sick, the first step for them to get better is for them to believe that they can do something to help themselves get better health wise. Okay, it might start with mental health, physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, whatever the case is. A sick person has to believe that I can get better. If they don't believe that they can get better, then they're going to become defeated emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically by their sickness and their affliction. They have to have hope for days in which their health will improve. Y'all stay tuned. I love you. I see you later.